My desktops are getting messy again, but there we go. Yeah, that's not a reasonable thing to have in the background. We're live. Oh, there we go. It is the marketing show, episode maybe 34. I don't know. I just count. I haven't got a mechanism for telling me what it is. Maybe somebody build a microservice to do that for me. We have Matt and Federico and myself. Others coming, incoming. We have, I think that might be Blandine. Hey, Blandine. Bonjour.
Hello.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Hello. All right. And Lara says, hey, Lara. Lara is here as well. And yes, I'm going to get my little video thing up here as well. That's me. Woohoo. No audio from Lara yet, but I guess it's coming.
Hello.
Hello. Yep, we can hear you, Lara. All right. So I guess what I will do is, we can hear Lara a little bit faint. I'm just pulling out, this is the previous set of action items. We'll just have that there for a reminder as we generate, or we just sort of do our topics of what people want to cover today. Matt, did you have anything that you particularly wanted to cover today?
Maybe just quickly look at that little logo I created for the Powered.
Yeah, so you've got local prototypes. Cool.
I got a, it's probably not worth looking at, but I have started work on getting started.
Yeah, I think maybe let's have that in the let's take more passes on that probably in the website one kickoff and other website one things, and then we'll bring it to marketing when it needs more of that input perhaps. Cool. Okay. So good to know that that's going on. Federico, did you have things on your mind?
Yeah, sure. I think the main one will be the call to action button. I modified that slightly, so I just want to run it by the marketing team.
Okay, right.
And
also there was the stuff from Friday that we didn't get to, so that's
right.
I'll pull in your stuff there.
And
so,
I'll touch on the rest of that too.
Okay, cool. Blandine, was there anything that you wanted to cover in the meeting?
I would like to speak about Slack statistics.
Anything else?
No.
No problem at all. No judgment there. It's great. Small number of things is good. Lara, things on your mind?
Just the font on the website, and then the social media posting plan for where are we? June.
And Marufa had some items, but she's not here at the moment. So I guess we'll just loop through our action items. So Blandine has joined the Medium blog, where she's able to do some blogging if she wants. There was Marufa and Blandine and myself on Friday, and that offer's open to everyone. If you want to blog under the Agile Ventures banner in Medium, then just let me know your username there. I think I've added her, so I think that's done. But just go to Medium, Agile Ventures. But so that's it for anyone. And I always find it so difficult to work out. Like I want to get to Agile Ventures and I want to find out who the writers are for that Agile Ventures. And so then
I might get on that, Sam. I'm redoing my blog.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, and there is also, everybody's welcome to blog at the non-profits setup. But yeah, so I think actually not yet. So I haven't done that from River, so I'll ping her about that. Okay. But yeah, that's open to anyone. Just let me know your Medium new action items becomes, so that's for all, ping Sam your Medium username, the blog on Medium. There's also, people can put pull requests to the non-profit site to do more kind of like rough and ready things. Anyway, so Marufa blogging Here we go. So the thing because we missed you, Lara, on Friday, we didn't get to talk to you about those aspects of the NHS project. So, but I'll just put that into my chunk of things here. The items. Now I need to go to grab the items from. Where have they gone? Come on, marketing, location, here. And while Slack is being slow there, I guess everybody can look at Matt's icon in the channel while I try and drag the thing towards. Here we go. That was the. I'm just grabbing the chunk of NHS Wiki Marketing, which will come back through there. So we've got there, yeah. Okay. So now Federico, you're doing the manual updates for this. Did you add a ticket on the non-profit site for this?
No.
Could you just do that in the background for me? You know where I mean, right?
I forget what it's called. It's yeah, I'll do that afterward. Sorry, I'm still setting up here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, well, I guess what I might just do here, so we've got like, I can't remember. This is also the other website where I kind of blog all my sort of draft blogs to what we call website 2, thing behind the non-profits site, which is another thing that we promote through our AdWords campaign to tell people about, we will do stuff for you. We've got our case studies in there and so on. But so yeah, it's the AV Static website. And so you can, for those technically minded, can put in pull requests to, so Mikhail, in fact, has been delivering blogs through that mechanism. Oh, hey, Marufa, how you doing?
Hiya, I'm all right.
Good to see you. We're just getting set up. I will just do the thing here.
And we're looking at your lamp, I think. Not your lamp, your light.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix. Yeah, I'm using my phone. Sorry, it's just a bit different.
That's right. No worries. Take your time. Currently.
Yeah.
To MailChimp. So I've created the issue there for that.
Sam, are you going to add NHS Wiki to that site? Or?
Yes, I mean I think we've got like the Wiki EDU dashboard and the NHS Wiki are both much more powerful like case studies probably than anything else we've got. So that's another thing there is like add NHS. I hate that. Correction. NHS Wiki and Wiki dashboards to the non-profit site. And then we've got there's the new Myanmar thing, and which there might be monies available for if we can make persuasive, case study.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, for that. I mean, I think the one issue we have with the site is that the whole site is designed around these case studies, sort of trying to be like a visual thing, rather than like the template that we use for the whole nonprofit site is like a design agency template where the visual aspect of it is important. Probably the case studies would need to be filled out so that it's got, like a couple of visuals, moving parts. But let's get back to our other things here. So that was the input. We'll come to that. Yeah, other things, HTTP sites, strategies to promote the HTTP sites. Marufa was going to find out more about SEO reports, and then reviewing Federico Marufa's materials and others. Okay, so well, let's dive in random order. So Matt, you've just been doing some prototypes. Well, on Friday, actually, you were there as well, Matt. So we've got the website for the NHS project is kind of live now. So it's here. It's not loading as fast as I would like, at least on the first load, but it's basically there. And I'm working through trying to fix bits and pieces. Matt noted they've got powered by Wikimedia Wiki down at the bottom. Wouldn't it be nice to have like a logo for Agile Ventures in there? And I said that would be great. And so Matt Gosh, my computer needs a reboot. But so I guess everybody's probably seen in the marketing channel, Matt was doing a couple of.
Yeah, I think the second
like
one's probably better.
Yeah, my immediate thought was if we're going to put it in the same kind of size and space, like next to this one, powered by MediaWiki, I think that the layout and the capitalization should match that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, but it's kind of ours, so I felt like we could make it however we want it.
We can in principle. My intuition is that if we're going to have that in a line, then it could, like, I'm not saying we have to use exactly the same font. I'm just saying that it's going to look more jagged. Like, for me, if we put this next to this, I think it would kind of look odd. That's my intuition. I think if we match that layout so that the Agile Ventures logo is on the left, and when we say, and I think we can't really say powered by Agile Ventures, but we could say by, tuned by, configured by, provided by, you know, hosted by.
Provided by me? Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, I think that's, you know.
No, I think you're right. It's kind of powered by is.
Yeah, it needs to be slightly different, but that can be worked out separately. But I think the critical thing is the layout. Any input from anyone else on this?
Yeah, I was going to say, Matt, could you also match the font to the other one?
Oh, okay. I'm not
So-
sure what the one is.
So powered by whatever that other font is.
Does anybody know what that is? No.
No, I would say matching the font is maybe less because we have our own specific font for Agile Ventures.
Right, not for the logo,
so
for the powered by.
Matthew,
Hmm.
So Matthew,
Yes.
there's, if you go to a website called, or just Google what's my font or what is this font, there's a
Oh,
couple
hold
of like web apps that you can upload the logo, and it will give you the closest font.
Okay. Let
And,
me write this down. I want to do the font and the layout. Make it, and the wording, maybe provided by.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, it's great. Perfect. Good job, Matthew.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it shouldn't take long to make a new one. I got the hang of Sketch. It's a nice little.
And I was going to say, Matt, so you're using the Sketch software to create it.
Yeah,
And-
but then you export to PNG. For
Right,
the,
right. Can you also share the underlying files?
Yes.
So,
The-
because like we may. So if you share it along with the PNGs, share the underlying files, and that means others could go in, and if they need to edit the text slightly, then yeah. I mean, I think we have the same basic issue with the like any image as we have with a podcast. As anything, is it's really important that we're not locked into only one person could ever generate that. A lot of our original Agile Ventures things are like that. So
And then you can always modify it, but you're like overlaying it, and the
Right.
quality might go down.
yeah, you don't want to be editing the PNG using some hacking it up. Anyway,
Okay, I'll do that.
great. Yeah, I mean, I would say, I don't know if people would concur or disagree with me that we would, if it's going to fit into the design of this site, then it kind of needs to have the same sort of button-like feel to this. If it's going to sit next to it, it's going to need the same border and curved
Oh,
things.
okay. I'll have to look at the HTML.
Yeah.
You might just need the logo, the graphic, right?
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, and don't feel like you suggested this and I asked you to do it, Matt. I think what I'm saying, those are the things we need. Doesn't mean that you have to do them.
I can do that. Though.
Yeah, you continue to go until. But if you've
I get stuck on it.
uploaded the original files and the PNGs or whatever, then other people can take over and we can sort of move forward. Okay. Cool. All right. So Federico, you wanted to say something about the call to action button.
Yeah, so it was one of the tickets
Right.
from about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
And so I modified it from Friday's meeting. I took it on as an issue. And
did.
so this is
Can we and we can see that? You got your sharing your screen. Yeah, go on.
so this is a live site.
Right.
So it's this button right here.
Yep.
And this is how I modified it. It's
Oh, okay. Yeah, to make the dark blue match the dark blue of the
yeah,
top
so it matches these two colors right here.
Uh-huh.
And it's a little smoother transition, the box shadow. While, you know, this one just, you know, immediately changes.
Right.
It's not much of a difference, but I think it actually makes a big of a difference. Makes it look nicer.
Yeah, the shadow.
Cool. So
Yeah.
you like it, Matt?
Yes.
Cool. Great work, Federico. Blandine, Lara, Marufa, what do you think about the change?
From my side, I like the shadow, but I think it needs to be a bit lighter.
A bit lighter.
Yeah, like there, like that. The way you've got it right now.
Uh-huh.
That's perfect.
So that's the hover. And that's, I know it's not much of a difference, but
Okay.
so I'm sorry, could you explain what you meant?
Yeah, so what I meant is like when you're not on hover, it's quite distracting.
Well, that's
in
always
terms of
distracting.
the shadow. So
Oh, the shadow.
if I would have the hover state. Why is the button, sorry, let me go back to why are you changing this?
The main reason was the color. I wanted to get rid of that light blue color.
Okay.
And yeah, so I think
I'll be honest, I find that shadow very distracting
really,
on the upstate, but when you do it on the overstate, if you hit over, then I find that is better
okay.
for me to see. So maybe swap them around.
Oh, really? So this is the
Can you
hover?
try? Yeah.
I also
So that would be the hover, and then that would be.
I think
Go,
swapping
Marissa.
it around would be a good idea because with the shadow, it looks like it's already in transition to get pressed. Whereas if you put it as when you're trying to press it, it looks like a process is occurring. It looks like the other way around at the moment. That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay. And
Good
the colors,
explanation.
I know it's not much of a difference, but it's the same as these colors right here. Should I leave those the same or?
I like the
that's
color.
Fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah, me too.
Blandine, yeah, what do you think about the changing color and the shadows?
For me, it's better.
You like the change to the darker blue? Yeah.
Yes.
And what do you think about I guess Lara and Marufa are saying that the shadowing should be reversed, so it's kind of the shadow increases when you mouse over rather than the other way around.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I guess to be honest, I kind of like it with the other blue.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just because it like stands out a bit more. Like, I think
I do agree with you.
the transition from, I mean, when you mouse over the color transitions, it's a more obvious change than the shadow changing. And I mean, the kind of that dark blue that's kind of our navigation thing. And I guess it's a nice, at least to me, I kind of want the get started now to begin coding on real projects to like pop out to people and stand
Yeah.
by. But,
indicate a link to that lighter blue. Indicate that it's maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, you could swap it around so that I mean, there's various options there. I mean, I guess it's great to get everybody's input on it. It's great that you're thinking about it, because we definitely want this to look good and people to want to click on it. Is it the kind of thing that we should be doing A/B testing on, Lara?
Yeah, I mean, we can test it now. I mean, I do agree with you, Sam. I just feel like it's becoming all monotoned, like one color, where the blue before, the first thing that your eye saw was the lighter blue.
Right.
Now, if you come onto the site, the first thing I'm looking at is now the Agile Ventures logo.
Okay. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
What we talked about a month ago was that I guess it might have been mainly my opinion, but I thought we agreed that this kind of looked cheaper, like, you know, just not quality design.
I don't know that we agree. For me, I don't know that we all agreed that was the case. I think that was your opinion, and I think it was maybe concurred by some people, but I don't know that it was necessarily unanimous. I'm certainly open for changing it. I guess I'm not enthusiastic about the change at the moment. I mean, so then the thing is, well, it's great to get feedback. So maybe, Federica, we don't have to make a decision right now.
Yeah.
We've got a sort of a chunk of feedback, and so the thing to think about is, I mean, there's a whole variety of different possible changes. I mean, one of the things to do is to maybe go and come up with some other alternatives, and then we could look at them, or even rather than just going for more discussion of different alternatives, because I mean, everybody's got different opinion. And in fact, you know, who's most representative of the people that we want to be clicking on the button? So actually, maybe you know, Blandine is more representative than, say, Lara and I don't know. It's you know, we can go on debating. So I think the thing is to maybe come up with a few, go and think about it, and then maybe come up with a few alternatives, and then maybe we can like A/B test it to see whether we get more click-throughs on it. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Even before then, what we could do is if we get like 3 alternatives, we could then be showing that to our existing community members. You know, I mean, it's kind of a small thing to be getting feedback on, but
yeah. All right. Well, on that deflated note, I'll move on.
Well, it's unfortunate if you feel deflated there, because I think we really, it's great that you're grabbing that and doing the work. And it's not that we're saying it's like horrible. We're just kind of like you can see there's a variety of feedback there.
Well, no, it's good, and I wanted to make sure to get.
But this is what
Go
it's
ahead.
about, Federico, because we can discuss it, but until we see it, you know, does it? Because in your mind it could look awesome, but as soon as you see it in live or in prototyping, you can go, oh my word! Actually, make the button.
No, you're right, and that's
or
right.
whatever.
And that's why I wanted to make sure to run it by the marketing team.
Yeah.
So you guys can shoot it down. So moving on.
Well, hopefully it's constructive criticism. I mean, I think it's like the last thing we wanted you to do is feel bad. And this is, I think, the big danger for us, like in Agile Ventures overall, is I mean, the whole thing, whether it's on like feedback on designs, on marketing plans, on pull requests, on all of these things, there's always the danger that somebody puts something forward, and if someone's saying something that could be interpreted as negative, then they're like, oh, why did I bother doing it? But it's kind of, I don't know.
Constructive criticism.
Better at being constructive, or what we need to do. Anyway.
Well, yeah,
Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry, that brings me. I hate. It's not really changing the topic, but you were showing that page that I changed.
Yeah.
I moved the button up, and I should have gotten opinions, but maybe we should be doing it on the staging site, Sam, or something.
Yeah, I think if we make changes, it's a good place to do them on the staging site. Or I think what did you use there? You used some other mechanism there to like do alternative drafts there, right?
Right, but maybe you want to mention that. I don't know if.
Well, I guess we were on that topic. I don't know. It reminded me of this thing where Matt and I, we were looking through various things. We were seeing how, and this is maybe particular to you, Lara, is related to the plugin that you know, this Google Analytics plugin. And so we were seeing how, like, if you're logged in and you're on the front page, then people who, you know, we've got like, for the last month, there's like, I think it's going to be like 20 clicks in the last month of people who are logged in and clicking through on this upgrade to premium for additional support. And this is like the key. I mean, it's great that we've got, you know, more people clicking and creating free accounts, great, but, you know, we want them to make premium accounts. So that's great, 20 people. But then if we look here, then, you know, it takes them straight to the page here, and actually the details about what the benefits they get from premium are hidden in another page. And only of that 20, only one person bothered to find out what the benefits were, right? So it sort of seemed from that, oh no, we really should have people like land on this page, like, that explains the benefits first, and then, you you know, they can move on to, like, if they've been swayed by the benefits, oh, that's great. Then we take them to the page where you can actually pay the money, right? But so Matt's got a pull request in to make that change in the escalating banner. But then Matt, you also adjusted this so that, to put the get started with premium, which takes you back to this page, to the very top of here, and that just seems. I totally understand that we want this thing here, but we want to give people a chance to actually read the benefits before we do the call to action, right?
Yeah, it wasn't obvious how to get to the next step to me. If they decided they wanted it, didn't need to read all that. But
right. But how would they decide that they want it unless they know what it actually is composed of? Right? Like,
I mean, I just kind of like the button on the top and the details on the bottom, but that's
right. I mean, again, we can end up A/B testing and it's
yeah.
I guess I shouldn't belabor the point. That just seems like, to me, completely illogical, because if people right, like,
when you're logical, it's not always logical.
Well, but like here, like if we're saying that the problem that we've just identified from
Right
the
there,
statistics is that people landing straight on something that, you know, is this page, right? Then that's a problem, right? People are there. We've got at least 20 people in the last month who might have been upgraded to premium. They're like, oh, interesting. I wonder what premium is. You know, oh, I'm thinking about premium. Got to this page, nah, you know, and not bothered to find out the further details. But so the pull request that you've just got coming through, which means that when they click on that thing, they'll go straight to this page. But so if I land on this and I see it, it's like, okay, I'm going to click straight through to this. They're going to go straight through to the page where they don't do anything, right?
Yeah,
So
but then they'll say, oh, it's back. Okay, I don't.
Oh, right. You think then you think then they'll click back and then they'll read this set of stuff?
The words are visible, you know, so it's not like they're hidden by the button or anything.
Right. I mean, again, I would be thinking one change at a time. That's the other thing. Anyway, okay, enough. I guess it's.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. We should have bundled that, or.
I think if we like, we'll get your pull request merged in. We'll see what effect that has over the next month, and then, you know, maybe let's move the button up in this page. I mean.
Yeah, so if you want to move it back, that's.
Yeah, forgive me. I should just maybe do it and not involve in discussion. Sorry if that's wasting people's time on that. But anyway, so let's go on to Federico's other topics. Sorry, Federico, we kind of got sidetracked there. My fault. I'm a bad person. You want more internal React mod promotion?
Oh, right. Yeah, I was just wondering, because it just started, if we could, the newsletter will be probably a couple more weeks out.
Right.
And I think the sooner you get them in at the very beginning, the better.
Yeah,
So
people, if something was like started 4 weeks ago, they're kind of like, oh no, I can't catch up. It's
yeah.
Well, even on the main site, you know, I just went to like free code school or something, and it alerted me, oh, there's a new Docker class.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of you know, something about updating the main site a little more frequently with.
Yeah. That would be great. Yeah, if we had engineering resources to put on that, that would be fantastic. Yes.
No, right now it's editable, isn't it? A marketing person could do it.
Oh, on which page?
The very first page.
Not the very first page. I mean, at least it could be done through a pull request. I mean, the very first. This is not a wiki page. This first one.
Oh, okay. Well, then I take it back a little bit.
But I mean, we could have a pull request, like, you know, these things could be being changed regularly to talk about things that are going on in the community, like the React mod.
Or the way Free Code School does it, there's a little alert button at the top.
Right. And we do have a mechanism for popping up an alert. There's one, and it's I think used to try and encourage people to sign up to fill out their profiles. So yeah, there's definitely. I think that's great. We'll add those suggestions. So I guess the React mod didn't go into the last newsletter. No, right.
It went into the first one, just a very tiny mention.
Okay, that there would be one coming up.
Yeah, but I was more speaking about just chatting it up on Slack. That's what I meant. A little more.
Right. Okay. Yeah. About. Okay.
I know you did at the very beginning, but.
Yeah.
So chat up React Mob on Slack. I guess there's.
Can I add to that? Sorry.
Please, Marissa, go on.
We could put something on the social media and the newspaper as well, so we can have it like a integrated marketing rather than just one thing. So you'll hear with the message occurring in a few different tools, platforms.
Right.
So I think that'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess we've got. There's almost like, as we have, like going forward, beyond like just getting the newsletter out, there's kind of like a bit like what Lara's got happening with the social media posting plan, is what would be good is, we'd have like things that we want to promote and they would get promoted across all the channels, right? That would be a good situation to get into. This is more promotion on social media. Okay.
That's a big feature of Agile Ventures, I think, is those mobs.
Again, Matt, it's a big feature of Agile Ventures.
Big enticement to join
Oh, that you could take part in a React mob.
in a React now.
Yeah. I
I've
think,
gotten some,
yes.
guessing if some pre-promotion might have gotten some new members.
Yes. I mean, we have had one person upgrade, a couple of people upgrade actually, but yes, I mean, it's the kind of thing. Yeah, in the ideal world, we would have been trailing it and promoting it and so on more effectively. So yeah, we need to have, sort of promote things more in advance.
In advance, yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult when it's sort of unpredictable about when we're actually going to have the resources to do things. But yes, yeah, no disagreement there. Okay, so May newsletter status. We talked about that last week. I guess Marufa, you are not necessarily writing articles, but like you're taking the lead on putting it together.
Yes,
right?
I feel like this week I need to actually start putting it together. But I think it's a bit too much getting all of the articles done by me.
Totally.
So
Yes.
especially this week, is because anyway. I was thinking if Lara and Federico can write an article each, and then I can do one, and then we'll have it done for Friday or next week, if that's okay.
I can't. I'm busy
Okay, that's
for
fine.
my Google Maps
But
exam.
then
But
that's okay.
Marufa, it's certainly you could be the manager of it, and you get people
Yes,
to write them.
that's
and,
fine.
Yeah, reach out to those people. Go on.
Can I just
Next week, if I can have until Monday, then that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could just do one, or you can just tell me what topic you want to do, where I should be looking at, and I'll write it. Either or.
No problem.
So that'd be great.
And
Federico, if you can write an article on maybe the React mob, another one,
right.
then if you have something done, then I can try and use your article to try and write something for the social media, or for maybe write a blog on it as well. So it'd be nice if you can give me the first initial some ideas. Yes.
No problem. And then you could tear up my my initial draft.
No.
Like I usually butcher yours.
It's fine.
So,
but which one would you like me to do? If I'm getting, sorry, can we just go back? If Lara's doing the Met Plus and you're going to do the React mob, is that what it's called? And what article would you like me to write about, guys?
well, I think the other one was the NHS wiki, right?
I've done that last week, or do you want me to continue?
Well,
it's the launch now, so should you want me to talk about
it's now
that?
launched, so it's gone live. So that's definitely
Okay, I'll write about that.
a new one. Yeah.
And I forgot your name. What's her name?
Blandine.
Landine. Yeah, if you want to write something about anything, you can as well.
Okay.
If you, I don't know, if you want to talk, if there's any topic that you've seen that you like and you want to write a draft, because we've got a few weeks before we're going to put it out. You don't even need to do it now, maybe in the future, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
and it might be.
Okay.
Go on, Federico.
Yeah, it might be, too much. She's still getting used to it. But if she wants to, that'd be great.
In the
so
future.
They're definitely all things for Blandine, as we've said. It's all optional for you, Blandine, when you're ready to get involved. But yeah, here's something where, if you want to, you could do, over the next few weeks.
Okay.
See how you feel.
Maybe
I'm,
even
in-
next month.
Yeah, I'm interested of that.
Cool. All right. So that sounds good. Federico, should we move on to your next item?
Yeah. So if I could just do just a really quick report of the last newsletter.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So here are the numbers for the first one, actually, since it went out in 2. And it got
But did it go out? Because we had a look, Sam and I had a look at it, and it seemed like the one was sent with the wrong subject line.
no, I'm talking about the very first one. So here are 3
Okay.
basically.
There's 3 points there. So yeah, if we look at the very bottom of Federico's screen, there was the initial sending, which was the first newsletter.
Okay.
Right.
Then it was the resending of the thing, and then there was the third one there, which is the sending with the wrong subject line.
Right. And so the numbers here are, they average about maybe 26% open. And this one here, it ended up being about 21% open, which isn't that bad. But yeah, I think perhaps it was the subject line. And just to explain that a little bit, what ended up happening was, let's see, yeah, this template right here. So I went to it, let's see, and yeah, it is showing now the final version. But if you recall, Sam, the version that you read right before you did the final review, so this included your final edits, that's the one that went out initially.
Right.
And actually, it, like, for example, it didn't have this little, this was all black, unsubscribe was a little, button was bigger.
Okay.
But it was, yeah. So it didn't look that bad.
Right.
But it did not have any of your edits. So it looked close to this. It didn't have as much.
So my final edits didn't go into the newsletter when it went out.
When it went out initially. So it went out initially, and luckily, what I ended up doing was, let's see if I can bring it up real quick. Templates. So, right. So in these options, I selected number 3, which is send this campaign to each contact Optimo open over the next 24 hours. So that ended up being a very slow deployment.
Right.
So only 48 people actually got the first newsletter, but I didn't realize that at first. And so that's why I sent out, a few minutes later, I was like, oh man, I gotta send out the correction. And so that's why I wrote that, not the greatest subject line, because I assumed that everyone had gotten
I see. Or you were assuming that everybody had received the first 48 people, they received an earlier draft with the correct subject line.
Right. And
then you resent to say, oh no, here's the final draft with a different subject line, assuming that everybody would have got the first one.
Yes.
Right.
And that one I sent out with number 2, sent to the most engaged contacts first. And what that ended up doing is that they became prioritized. And they were sent out first. And so it delayed the first newsletter because they were so in progress. And I actually had to go to I actually had to purchase more emails. I spent $5, and so now actually we can send out more emails. Instead of 5,000, we can send out an extra like 45,000 emails. Because it wouldn't let me because we were past our free limit. With that second one. But then after that, I found out that you could go to reports and go to in progress and click cancel in progress. But by that time, almost all of the second batch were sent with that subject line, and only 48 of the first. So most of the first batch was canceled.
Right.
So the thing to do for next time is when you go create the campaign from here, pick your contacts and make sure you view it right here. make sure that this version here is the version,
Right.
because that's what's going to get sent out, and send the test from here.
Right.
Send test, as opposed to going directly into viewing it. This is where I sent the first test.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, option.
So,
edit.
there's two places to view the preview and send a test. And
Right.
the problem then is that the place like here, if you're sending a test from here,
It's
or
not
viewing the
reliable.
preview, it's not necessarily the template setup that's being connected to the like
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
So was it maybe that when you did the initial, that you tested that was all working, it all looked good, and then you went into the place for actually sending the whole thing, but then that it hadn't picked up some changes or something?
Your changes, right? Your final changes.
Right.
For some reason.
Yeah.
What ended up working was I copied this new template. I made a
Uh-huh.
copy. I think, let's see, options,
Right.
copy template. And then they created this one. I renamed it. And then create campaign. Then I did all these. And I made sure to view it and to send the test from here.
Okay.
So for the next time, that'll hopefully prevent, that. But, so it wasn't a total disaster. It could have been worse. But the only thing that wasn't the greatest was the subject line that most people ended up getting. Everyone who got the first one did get, I went back and sent them an extra
Right.
normal email.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate because the my last review was important in as much as it stood, there were certain like technical inaccuracies about the nature of our relationship with the NHS and so on. So it's
So only 48 people saw that.
yeah. Okay.
The
And
vast
they
majority-
all know that there were issues with it.
They got the following one, and
Okay. So the interesting thing about that. So we've got things to learn there. It sounds like you've got the learnings about, and you've shared with us that the critical thing about is where to be viewing the preview and the test is in this, sending setup rather than in the other section.
Yeah, and actually, it probably will be good to always use number 3, just in case. Then if you do mess up, you can go to reports,
Right.
go to in progress, and go to cancel in progress.
Right. I guess, is there something else that we can learn? I know we were very, very keen to get the newsletter out in April. And that was part of what was motivating you to kind of like, do things quickly and this and the other. I guess it's like, I guess it backs up and say, like, let's make sure that we have the May newsletter ready to go with a week to spare, so we're not doing the final push out at the end of May in a big fluster. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the other actually, positive thing is that we can send, we could send a quick reminder to everybody, hey, we have a React mob, real quick note or something,
Or something like that. Yeah. Okay. And where did you add your credit card to pay to add that?
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for that contribution. Much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. It was, luckily it wasn't that expensive.
Okay.
$5. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So,
Anyone got any questions for Federico about that, or any other thoughts? I think thanks for the full report, Federico. It's great. I know that you did post the text, and I was having trouble understanding what happened, but that's very clear. Thank you.
And then I took off the next week, so I wasn't really there to answer all the questions.
No worries. Good stuff. Okay, so should we move on to the next item?
Yeah, which I'm not sure what it. Could you remind me?
Well, I guess actually you got here like April news, but I guess we're just doing them in different order. The last newsletter report, that was the April newsletter deployment. That was the thing to talk about, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Then the next one is scheduled design sprint, assigned Google design book reading.
Right. So I was, I really want to push the design sprint. I think everyone's for it. And I was just going to ask, if we purchase the book, what would you recommend that we read? But I went ahead and purchased it yesterday, and I noticed that you basically have to read the entire thing.
The book, it's quite short. It's not a long book.
Yeah, it's like 280 pages.
Yeah, and it's also got. I mean, if I bring Matt, I think you've got a copy of it now.
I got it. Hardcover.
How far are you through it?
I skimmed it because I wanted to get the gist of it, but I haven't read. I haven't started reading it really.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, there is. He said, trying to bring up his Kindle. At the back, they've got kind of like a summary for it that lets you. It's a really good kind of summary system. Federico, in your absence, I've been encouraging Matt to kind of think about things in these terms. That like of a design sprint. I mean, he's sort of come up with these ideas for the different getting started page. I mean, I think that there's an argument for, rather than the bit by bit approach on everything, actually doing a proper design sprint. So it talks about, how to get set up, the supplies that you need and so on. But so there's this section here where it goes through like, this is what you do on Monday, right? Then this is what you do on Tuesday. And so on and so on. And I did, and third Wednesday, et cetera. And each of these things that you do, it's got a link to the point in the book where that happens. So it's got more explanation. So you can get a really strong flavor of what they're suggesting takes place in the design sprint from this overview at the back, and you can sort of dip in. I really strongly recommend reading the whole thing. I think that it's really eye-opening. I think, if we'd been using this technique earlier on in our adventures, we could be in a completely different place now. I've done this with the NHS, and I've got a private client booking me for a week to do it at the end of June. I think it's very powerful. To summarize it, it's basically, on Monday, you kind of make a stakeholder map of the problem and kind of make sure that everybody's on the same page for that. And then on Tuesday, you start doing demos of all of the existing solutions. And then you all do this kind of like together, but being silent, sketching possible solutions together. And then on Wednesday, they have this whole series of mechanisms for trying to work out which is the solution that you should be testing.
Can I just interrupt?
Go on, Lara.
Can we do this in another chat?
Sure.
Sorry, we're just running out of time.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Fair enough. Shall we let's move on then. Blandine, we'll come back to this very good. Blandine, the Slack statistics. You wanted to get access to that?
Yes, because I think it's maybe useful to study them. We could study the user expectation, for example, and we can do a people segmentation. I don't know, and it can be a way to know if a person will become a premium member.
Yes. And in fact, Michael is working on that. So that's a great idea. And there's a channel called Data Mining. Okay. Michael's working from that. I can also give you access to the statistics. So I will connect you up what we're doing on the Slack statistics. Okay.
Yeah, and if she wants more statistics, maybe Michael could help.
Yeah, we'll connect you with Michael. Excellent. Okay, well so Lara, you wanted to talk about the font on the website.
Yeah, sorry, my connection keeps coming and going, so if I do disappear, please, I think they're doing a hangout in the other room. Okay, so I came to work on the site, and now at my new job, I don't have my wonderful big screens anymore because they're sitting at home. So I'm working off my laptop a lot. So what I found when I came to work on my laptop is that I found that this font, smaller now, is just really too big. It's quite, I've just found it a bit off-putting. I just want to quickly go back to where I was. Yeah. So at the moment, it's on 24 pixels. So if I'm reading it, I actually battle to read it. It's my brain just said, no, I don't want to read this. But if I drop it down to anywhere between 16 points, my brain says, okay, I can read this. My eye wants it to flow. and it also doesn't look like it's too much to read. I know that we have discussed this before, but maybe it's just something to look at.
Mm-hmm. Matt and others, do you want to comment on that?
Just what you said, it's more manageable than a big block to read. When you did that, the screen looked better.
Laura, what do you think about the line height? Because I think that's more important than anything. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The line,
like 1 point
line
height.
Yeah. So does the line height then? I put it in 20 pixels. Even 28. Even that, line height of 28, font size of 16. It just gives the feeling of space, and that it doesn't make me feel so anxious.
Really?
If I can put an emotion behind it. Yeah.
So Sam, could you talk about like the motivation for making it bigger?
I can just Marufa and Blandine, your thoughts on Lara's point?
I prefer how it's looking on my screen now, because when the font is quite big, I find it too wordy and it puts me off reading it. So from the beginning, when I was reviewing the website, I did feel like it needs to be condensed, and I wasn't really registering it to do with the font size. I just felt like it had a lot of wording, and no one wants to read an essay. But I think Lara explained why I'm thinking this way.
But well, I think when you first started looking at it, the font size was smaller. So I think we do have a problem with this, just too much text on the side.
Yeah.
And so then to lead into the motivation is I increased the font size as a kind of motivator to reduce the amount of text. Interestingly for me, the two things you were showing there, Lara, I find that more difficult to read when it's smaller. When like on your screen there, you had it as it originally stands, the larger font reads more easily for me. I can make out the letters more easily. I mean, that may also reflect, differences in visual acuity. I'm getting older, my, preferring larger text.
I mean, if you go choose like 5 websites and just randomly go and have a look, I think that will also give you a feeling of what the point size should be.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just got used to I think Medium has a.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I have to kind of go now. I've got a meeting.
Okay.
Sorry.
No
Bye.
That's all right. Just go. Bye.
All right,
No problem, Mariko.
Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is maybe bigger than it needs to be, but I have found that, like, compared to what the text size that we had originally, like, the default size on Medium is larger.
Yeah, I think it's about 18,
right?
If I'm not mistaken.
But I think, initially I definitely thinking it was too small, and it encouraged these kind of large amounts of essays. One of the things I have done since doing this is I've reduced the length of this by half, and added a call to action at the bottom. I mean, for me on my laptop here, this is a very comfortable reading experience.
Yeah, I don't like the very small. I don't like 12. I won't read any of that.
Like
if it's too small.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, that's a.
This is at
anywhere between 18 and 16.
About 18.
So I guess, but so like when you guys look at my screen and you look at this one here, this size here,
I just find it very.
That's kind of anxiety producing for you, Lara. This size.
I would then put more. I would put more line spacing in that.
Oh, really?
I would probably put 2 more pixels.
I mean, I guess if we now drop that to 18, you see that when I look at this, that's like, oh, wow, that's a dense lot of things.
I want to read that.
I kind of don't.
See,
that feels like
I don't either.
Too much. How do you feel, Federico? You want to read this or you don't want to read it?
No, No,
Don't read
I
it.
think the main problem is the amount of text.
Yeah, there's
That's
too
the-
much. There's too much text.
But the
Yeah.
smaller, the less I want to read it. Yeah. So
Right.
I'm the opposite, Laura.
But so I think that Federico and I are preferring the larger size. I think we can all agree that we should be reducing the amount of text.
Yes.
But yeah, it may well be that the
I mean,
font size is too large. Go on, Laura.
Settle on 20 pixels.
Well, anybody's welcome. Anybody's welcome to put in a pull request and make the change. Yeah, or I mean, yeah, it's certainly
It's
but
just even
if it's making
even
you
4
if it's
pixels
making,
down.
if the
I'm
large
just putting
size
what,
is
you
kind
know.
of is making you anxious, Laura, then that's and I think Matt and Marufa are agreeing with you. Then that's definitely suggests that it might be too large.
Yeah, I got one more
Yeah, so I think
suggestion. Is
Go on, Matt.
it seems a technique a lot of people are using now in newsletters and sites is just bullet like sentence and then space and then another sentence. It keeps keeps you reading and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Have you seen that style? You know what I mean?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, Matt. If you can find an example and send it. I'm just looking at Medium, but what about this Medium site here, Laura? Does this is this anxiety producing?
No.
This is okay. So interestingly, they've got 21 pixels as their font size and 1.58 as their line height.
I think
Yeah.
their secret sauce is the line height.
Right. So if I just put the 21 pixels in there,
Yeah.
and then if we have line height, what was that? It was 1.58.
I think we were already there, actually.
A little bit more. So
See, that's for me. I would read that.
that's better. Okay.
It doesn't feel.
Yeah. Well, I love Medium, so I'm totally on for let's copy the Medium size. So
Perfect.
all right. So okay, move to 21 pixel, 1.58 line height on site. Okay. Social media posting plan for June, Laura?
Yeah, no, well, Marufa's gone now. She was going to work on that. I just wanted to know how she was doing, if she was managing to get to it, get to it or not,
Okay.
or what. But I'll
You
just
follow up
Slack
with her
her.
at
I'll
Slack,
Slack
yeah.
her and ask her.
Okay. We kind of went through this on Friday. I guess the outstanding one was just I've been giving everybody access to the analytics for this site. I guess it was the main thing we were looking for your input, Lara, on Friday was on how we do search engine optimization for this site.
Okay.
Am I here? Yeah. So this is that we've got analytics working. There's kind of the deal with NHS is about having kind of a marketing plan going forward. We kind of went through. I mean, I kind of reviewed loads of it on Friday. I kind of escaping my. Well, there's posting information on the sort of parent Healthy London site. They're not giving us any funds for paid promotion. So I guess the key thing would be is that when people do a search for social prescribing on Google, we would like this site to be popping up. The Marufa was referring to, you previously used a tool, Lara, to do an analysis of some of our other sites to make recommendations for search engine optimization. Lara? I guess we might have lost Lara. Oh well. So maybe we've lost Lara for the moment. I mean, that's sort of bringing us to the end. I guess if we just go back to this item here that we moved over. Say again, Matt?
I'm sorry, just to briefly go back, my suggestion about how to write these.
Okay. Yeah, why didn't you paste a link to that into the
I'm sharing my screen.
I know you are. Can you also paste the link to that into the Slack? Yeah.
It's a PDF.
Yeah, there was a URL in the top of the thing there. I mean, even if it's a PDF. I guess since I was in the middle of talking about one thing, I was just rather than switching to that, I was saying, like, if you post the link to that, that can be something we could follow up in Slack. Also, since we're over time for the meeting, lost Lara there, unfortunately. I guess I was just gonna. There was me waxing lyrical about this Google design sprint. You were keen, Federico, to actually schedule a design sprint and get that done, right?
Well, sort of. I mean, I've been reading through the book, and it's, I mean, 6 hours a day, 5 days. I mean, that's impossible for a remote team. And they emphasize, with non-tech, and I don't see how it would work. I think we'd have to plan it out a little bit.
I agree. It's for me, like, particularly if I can land this other private deal, I would very happily clear a week in which to do a full design sprint and do it, online 6 hours a day. But yeah, it's not necessarily practical for anybody else. I mean, well, Blandine and I are the only ones who can maybe put in that amount of time. But not everybody has to be involved in all of it. But you're absolutely right. We would have to be adapting a lot of what they are suggesting, because they're really saying, like, it needs to be co-located and you need to be writing on whiteboards and this, that, and the other. It would be an experiment for us to try design sprints with doing it online, and we'd have to plan that. I think it's still possible. I mean, I had to adjust the design sprint for it to work in the NHS context, and I think I still got some value out of it. Anyway, Lara, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, just the connection got bad.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, we were just coming back to the point there. We were just, so Marufa was saying on Friday, or was reminding us, that you had done an analysis of some of our other sites in Agile Ventures or Local Support and so on, using some sort of tool previously, but then
but unfortunately they took no, it was Web CEO.
Okay.
But they took away the free version. So it's. But there are lots of other SEO ones that we could look at. I must just look on my computer at home.
Yes, it looks like we can get a 14-day free trial from Web CEO.
Yeah.
But maybe I can ask them about non-profit things. Right. Okay. But so I guess the
quite
approach.
nice companies to work with.
Yeah. And so I'm sort of only vaguely remembering it, but so that was because like for Local Support, and you were saying, right, let's make the H1 things match this and have this text and this, that, doing all these different things. Those were suggestions that came back from this Web CEO report. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So if we use this and get a series of recommendations for the new wiki and implement them, then that would be a reasonable approach, you think?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, that's that. I think we've got through our agenda items. Sorry that all took a bit longer. I'm just, maybe someone else needs to run the meeting. I'm terrible at getting sidetracked. Going forward, I'd love volunteers who want to take the lead.
No, you need to run it every time, Sam.
You say that, Federico. I don't know if it's completely true. Anyway, I think it's definitely kind of over time. Is there we've got a new set of action items. Is there anything else that we need to cover at all? Any other concerns from anyone?
Can I just ask you about the NHS logo that you wanted me to do?
Oh yeah,
like the Harry Potter one. So is they just want the NHS wording and the people on the side, or?
Good question.
Are they
I mean,
exactly
basically
looking for?
I think what they're looking for is something to make the front page look a little bit less Spartan. So at the moment, I mean, they've got, this is the Healthy London Partnership things. I think what the guy is imagining is he's imagining being able to have, you know, in some of this space, like a kind of a thing that makes the, you know, like rather than just a bit of text for social prescribing and self-care wiki. So, I mean, there's an extent there to which, you know, it could be whatever you want. If I bring up the Harry Potter one that they've got here, I'm assuming that what they like about it is that there is just, see, why doesn't that immediately get bigger? Ridiculous thing. Oh, my computer's slowing down. But yeah, I think they're liking that there's some, I want you to show me the image bigger. Show me bigger.
Okay, so
there we go.
So something like "Welcome to NHS."
Yeah, I think we would say, I think what they're imagining is that they would have the smaller font "Welcome to the" and the wiki underneath, and it's social. The name of the wiki is Social Prescribing and Self-Care. So it doesn't particularly need to say NHS. It doesn't have to have the NHS logo in it necessarily, but then so like next to Social Prescribing and Self-Care, like obviously being Harry Potter would be quite inappropriate, but some sort of little design, and so that's where the NHS logo could go.
Perfect.
If that makes any sense.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, I think that's us then. Thanks, everyone. I guess that we could final action item wrap around there. Matt, you were showing us that we'll follow up and have a look at that other example you did of like laying out text, and I guess this is for like Sam and Federico. Is
Slack if anyone wants to discuss.
Thanks. Work out how we could even run a design sprint.
What are we talking about designing, or we don't know yet?
Well, the thing with the design sprint, and I guess everybody feel free to go now. If you've got to go,
yes,
that's totally fine. The design sprint is all about trying to identify kind of like where in the interaction between all the different stakeholders are the key, you know, load-bearing items. So like we've talked about, you know, the funnel diagram, right?
Yeah.
And about how people are moving through the site. Like this underplays that, you know, the way in which people at different points are interacting with each other, you know. So if you read the book, it talks about all of these different, you know, the example of a robot that delivers a toothbrush in a hotel, and you know, there's all sorts of things that the robot does, right? It kind of like the receptionist has to put the toothbrush into the robot, and the robot has to navigate and, you know, get on the lift and kind of find the person's room, and then, you know, the person opens the door and, oh, my toothbrush has arrived, and they get the toothbrush from the robot, and then the robot does a little dance and goes away and so on, whatever. So there's all these like interactions or whatever, and like just as an example from that is that they went through and they identified as saying like, well, you know, there's all sorts of difficult things in each stage, but if the interaction between when the robot delivers the toothbrush to the customer, like at the room, if that interaction is not perfect, if that interaction is not one where the customer is like, yeah, that was cool, I want to come to this hotel again. If you're missing that, then, you know, just because the robot's like got the latest technology to, you know, get into the lift, you know, it's a non-starter as a business, if that makes sense. So we've got like this flow of people who are coming in, they're signing up for the free account, they're signing up for the premium account, they're having the interaction with the mentor, they're doing a pairing online or whatever. And the part of the design sprint is like spending particularly the first day, to work out what's the critical interaction that actually keeps people hanging around and staying in the community. And then, like, if we're going to make a change to like, we've got all these different points where we could be making changes. Like, there's the getting started page, there's clicking on the button, there's receiving the newsletter. Like, it's like part of the process is to work out all of the different ways in which the people are interacting. Where are the places, the load-bearing points that really keep people, you know, in the community and doing the things that makes the community take over? And so the design sprint is like, really quickly, let's work out where those points are. Let's come up with ways of making those interactions more sticky or more appealing or more appropriate, and then very, very quickly prototype, you know, new parts of the site. And it might be that it turns out that the getting started page is a critical one to do, and the focus of the design sprint would end up being on the getting started page, but it might actually be on the first time a person joins a Hangout or a Scrum, right? Depending upon what we learned from doing the first 2 days of the sprint, if that makes sense.
The only other question I have is how would we do it with remote. You know, we can't get in a room for a whole day.
No, I mean, like to my mind, the way we would do it remote is we would get in a hangout for a whole day, hypothetically. I mean,
What about how
Fernando.
they emphasize? I mean, they're big on nothing tech, just for a few moments. I think on Wednesday and Tuesday.
I think all of them are adaptable, right? Definitely.
Right.
You know, it's not like in the ideal world, we would have the lovely funds from some big venture capitalist saying, yes, we'll fly you all in and we'll have like a Agile Ventures weekly, you know, design thing.
I think that's what they assume because they're Google Ventures, you know.
Yeah. But I think if
people
you
have the luxury,
right. But if you read the whole book and you go through, they've got like a discussion of all the different things. There are people who do designs just themselves. You can still follow the procedure as one person and still get some value from it. I mean, the whole meeting in person and all of the things is like what is their tip to get the maximum value from it. But I think there's still, like, I had to adapt the NHS design sprint to like all sorts of constraints. Instead of having like a one day with getting 5 people in to test it, I went to 5 different places in London over the course of last week and tested the stuff that we built with those people. But I got hugely valuable stuff out of it. You know, stuff that I wish that I've been kind of doing with Agile Ventures since day one, because I think we'd be in a completely different place now. But
so I think we figured out how to use our funds that we have. We should fly.
We should fly people in to do it
the
in
marketing
person.
team. Yeah, I think we fly them to London.
Well, maybe so. I don't know.
Or to Kansas.
or to Kansas. Yes. Well, anyway, I think we've definitely run out of time for this meeting. Friday again, we're set to meet on marketing and go through it. Yeah, we might want to have a retrospective at one point, but anyway, I definitely need to go and have lunch now. Good stuff, guys. I'll post all the notes in the chat, and I will see you all really soon.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.